Ladies and gentlemen, this is Sideline Warning, the show where sports takes are sure to go way too far out into the field. And here to recap this week's biggest and best sports stories are your hosts, Adam Russell, Dave Adams, and Ben Foster.
And welcome into Sideline Warning, everybody. This is week 22, and you've got Dave Adams sitting here. Let me go ahead and bring in my normal co-host. I got Ben all the way down from Birmingham, Alabama. What's going on, Ben?
Hey, Dave. I'm watching the Spurs and Warriors game. It's game 2 in the NBA playoffs. So this, the playoffs will end about 3 months from now. But right now, it's the Spurs and the Warriors in game 2. So I'm just I know it's important, so I'm gonna keep giving score updates throughout the show today.
And let me tell you about how much I care about basketball, NBA basketball. About as much as I care about Auburn basketball.
Well, the Spurs are up 32-31 here in the second.
Okay. So Ben's not the only person on the podcast. Of course, we got our esteemed co-host all the way down from the House of Mouse, Mr. Adam Russell. What's going on, buddy?
It is going to be 45 degrees tonight for a low in Florida. Mass chaos everywhere. Cats and dogs living together. I have no idea what's going to happen, but I hope I get to see you guys again.
After next week, you might not hear Adam and Dave's voice on this podcast again because Adam and Dave are going to be in the same city running a half marathon next week. So pray for us on next Sunday that we don't die. But y'all heard us on a different podcast last week on the iamGEEK podcast, and we recorded that podcast last Wednesday in a very small room, and unfortunately, Ryan, Chris, and Katrin haven't let us out of that room. They're still here with us. Guys, can we come up for some air, please?
Nope.
No.
But we please, we're hungry.
Should have thought of that before he came here.
All right, that was Chris. Katrin, say hi.
Hey, I'm not watching the playoffs this year because the Grizzlies have tanked, and we're looking forward to next year. So
there's always. Hey, I do have to say I keep up with the Grizzlies a little bit because y'all have a very great Alabama forward, Mr. Jermichael Green.
He is, yeah. We like him.
Yeah, and then of course y'all hear the voice of Ryan. You haven't in a couple of weeks, but. He'll be back. The Sideline Warning voice will be back. Ryan Street, what's going on, man?
Hey, I'm just getting my voice back. So, I want to give you my full, 100%, sideline voice. I do have a friend that could do it in the meantime. His name is Cletus T. Williams. Good buddy. You could check him out. But I'm happy to be back. This is my second time on the show. I'm bringing my guys along.
Hey.
We're gonna have some fun.
Thanks, Ryan.
So we need to finish up that Disney bracket, but we do have to do. We're a sports podcast, so we do have to have a little sports talk at the beginning of the podcast. So this week, some major shakeup happened in college football rules, and it's gotten some Alabama football players and Alabama fans a little bit upset. So on the kickoff, they have now said anybody who does a fair catch from the 25-yard line all the way to the end zone, they're just going to place it on the 25-yard line. What are your thoughts on this?
I'm shocked.
Well, okay. Okay, I'm shocked that Chris was the first one to bring something up. Chris is okay. Let's all regain consciousness again.
Okay. So, he loves his kickoffs.
I do, getting that puck through that hole.
Okay, so anyway,
this is a family show.
What are your thoughts on the rules, Ben? Adam, anybody? Take it over.
It's just not football. It's just not football if the kicks don't matter. I mean, if you're going to just make fake kicks like that, you might as well call it wrestling.
Yeah, but the returner has the choice still to return it. So
no, it's all rigged. It's not real anymore. It's all fake. It's just like professional wrestling. Next year, college football is going to be indiscernible from the WWE. It's going to look exactly the same.
No, well, not really, because they can't slam them down to the ground anymore because with kickoffs.
That's very true. That's very true. And go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, I'll just say, being a data nerd, I dove into the numbers because you can actually quantify a lot of this stuff, and they found that after they made the move to kicking it from the 35 and the touchback going to the 25, that touchbacks went from 15% of kickoffs to 34%. Last year it averaged 40 or 34%. Last year it averaged 44%. So round that up to half and say that half of every kickoff results in a touchback. But if you look at the average length of the kickoff, they kick it to on average to about the 4. So between the 5 and 10, if you want to make a rule, if they can fair catch it around the 5, okay, I get it, because that's the one where they're running it out. You've got a pretty good distance to get up ahead of steam between you and the coverage team. But if somebody kicks it to the 20, it's already too high up in the air to do anything with it once it lands. It's got too much airtime underneath it. Yeah. So I think that kicking it short, it doesn't really matter. If it's in the 5 or 10, I could probably have gotten there. But now anything short of the 25 is going to be a touchback. I think it's too much, and I think it's just an intermediate step between where they are now and getting rid of kickoffs altogether. Yeah. I think they're just testing the waters.
Well, if you get rid of kickoffs, then you really do miss some of the most exciting plays in the game. I mean, when you see a kick returner break free of all the defenders on the field and just running for 50 yards untouched, that really is one of the most exciting plays of the game. Think Javier Arenas. Think the X Factor in the NFL.
Think Kenyon Drake.
Right, exactly. That play against Clemson wouldn't have happened. So if you take that out of the game, you really do take a scoring opportunity away. And I don't know why they're doing this. I understand they're trying to say for safety reasons, look at Speedy Noel this year or last year. But I don't think so. This is really just going to say, hey, let's give them all flags. And let's just play flag football now. 2-hand touch maybe.
I'm not the expert, but I think you guys are blowing it a little out. I don't think go as far as flag football. I think that if it's not hey, this is the new rule and we're trying to get rid of kickoffs, I think the kicking team is going to come up with some new stuff that's going to make it interesting, and it's not going to be. I think there's going to be some. I think they're going to be creative with it, and I don't think it's going to be like, well, everything's going to be a touchback now. So I think it's one of those things. Let's have to wait and see. It's been like that for years. The college football has been in a constant change, and it's going to keep being in a constant change because somebody's always going to have a problem with something. So,
and right now, everybody's having a problem with Alabama winning so much. So, it always is good to be on top. But Ben, you've been quiet in this, and I you're usually the most opinionated person on the podcast.
Well, I told you, I'm going a long way by saying it's becoming wrestling, but it's absolutely absurd. You've got to have a kickoff, you've got to have a guy return it, and the stuff of waving it off, it's worse than the Halo rule that we had a few years ago. I'm glad they finally modified the Halo rule, but still, you've got to let somebody have the opportunity to run. That's where some of these athletes show how good they are. And a lot of guys, especially for Nick Saban, a coach that puts a lot of attention on special teams, that's where guys prove how good they are. And so that actually, as Alabama fans, we got to stop and say this affects how Saban determines who he's going to put on the field in other personnel issues. The kick returners, the guys that play on special teams, wind up winning roles at other positions because of how they play on special teams. So if you have these kickoffs that don't matter and you don't have guys showing what they've got, suddenly you have fewer filters to figure out where your talent really is.
Okay, so I'm going to pick apart what you said here just quick second. You say Nick Saban is a coach that really pays attention to special teams. I'm going to understand your statement, and then I'm going to show you a kicker on an Alabama football team.
Well, I'm talking about the other roles besides the kicking. Kickoffs and punting, we had one of the best punters in the country the last 4 years. But as far as kicking field goals, yeah, I get that's lacking. But I'm talking about kick returners. I'm talking about guys that are out there making hits. the linebackers, the guys that are out there playing those special teams roles. Saban has always said that if you want to play for him on the first team on offense or defense, you've got to win a role by playing well on special teams. And he uses starters on a regular basis on special teams. So, yeah, I get it. Sometimes he has guys that can't kick field goals, but I'm talking about all of the other roles. You've got to put 11 guys on the field. So forget about the field goal kicker for a minute and think about the other 10 guys that are on the field, the guys that are having to block for that field goal kicker. Think about the long snapper and the role he can play as a center. Figure out the guys that could be on the offensive line and need those roles. Think about it on a kick return, the guys that have got to lay blocks, and think about it when the other team's returning the ball, the guys that have got to go make the big hits to stop them. That is where Saban determines where his athletes are and where his guys are that want to really compete for serious roles. And that's a big proving ground, especially for Alabama, but with other coaches too.
Well, let me kick it back to you guys then. What does your gut tell you? Is it really going to change anything?
It changes everything.
I'm a kid and I'm hungry.
It changes everything.
But it gives you the option to run it back. If I'm a kid, I'm hungry, I want to make a name for myself, I want to demonstrate what I've got, and I catch it on the 10 and I run.
Yeah. Hey, let me tell you, if I'm a kid and I'm hungry, I'm going to go to the concession stand because I know the kick doesn't matter and I've got extra time.
Yeah, but who's gonna? Don't you think the first guy that takes the fair catch at the 5, he looks like a sissy? You know, it's like,
I'm glad you said sissy because that's not the word that I was thinking of.
But if it bounces into the end zone or bounces out of bounds, then you get this great advantage. But if you just take it and run with it, you could get also a great advantage. So
risk reward, yeah.
I mean, if you take that fair catch at the 5-yard line, it's like, why did you do that? I mean, unless the kicker can kick it 200 yards in the air, and it gives enough, however high, I don't know how high, it gives enough time for the defense to then get down the field. I mean, usually when those high impact, like that picture you all posted, that GIF that you all posted with the guy getting clobbered, was that on a punt?
No, that was a kickoff.
Okay, well,
yeah,
but was it short though?
No, Mack Wilson is a fast beast.
Yeah. I wonder where it dropped though, because. Which I guess if it was shorter, it would give him less time.
And the tweet in question was from Mack Wilson over the weekend. He posted a GIF of him laying a big hit on special teams because that's where athletes prove themselves, Dave. Mack Wilson goes, "Hey, I'm not feeling this new kickoff rule," and that's where I'm at. I'm gonna side with Mack Wilson and say I'm not feeling this rule either.
So if they're not kicking footballs anymore. Can you call it football?
I guess.
I think that's a legitimate question.
Wow.
I agree. I think it is a legit question, and that's the whole point of the game. I agree with Ben's point in this. We need the kicking game.
That does raise a good question. This is a good one that I want the iamGEEK guys to answer first. If you don't call it football, what should the new name of the sport be?
Oh, well. Let's see here.
I've stumped them. I've stumped them with this hypothetical sports question.
Jock bowling.
All right.
Pigskin Fiesta. That's what I would call it.
Oh.
Wow. Arriba.
There we go. That's going to stick.
You do eat nachos there.
Hashtag Pigskin Fiesta. It's the new football.
I like it.
That might actually be more marketable.
Put that on a t-shirt.
All right, Dave, there's the title of this week's episode.
No, the title of this episode is actually something else, and we'll get into it here in a second. I think there's only 3 Braves fans on this podcast now, right? Because I know we got a Dodgers fan.
I've always been fond of the Native Americans.
And I don't care about sports. And
I was always fond of the Native Americans.
I
do want to.
They founded this country. That's good.
I do want to poll Adam and Ben's thoughts on Saturday's Braves game really quick. I had turned the game off when the Braves were up 10-2. I was helping my wife pack for our upcoming Disney trip, and then I started getting updates about the game, and I saw Freeman in the game. And I saw that the Braves were losing a 10-2 lead. Is this something that is what the bullpen's going to be doing for the rest of the season, or is this just a fluke?
It's what I
think
expected the bullpen to be doing, and I'm surprised that the bullpen hasn't behaved that way sooner than now.
Well,
Yeah.
it proved the point that me and Ben were trying to make the other day, that we should save the money for Bryce Harper and spend it on pitching, because they
Speaking of
just
Bryce Harper,
gave it away.
Hold on. Speaking of Bryce Harper, did y'all see the video that I posted in the fan group this afternoon? The man hit a home run with a broken bat. The bat freaking came off of the handle, and he still had the power to hit over the fence.
I think you're coming off the handle a little bit too.
If you don't want that man on the Atlanta Braves team, you're a horrible fan, and you need to check yourself.
I don't want to.
Check yourself.
Here we go again.
Before
What might happen? Yeah.
Before you might wreck yourself.
Dave,
The Dodgers are winning right now.
Dave, I've got to say,
6-2.
Dave, I've just got to say, in regards to Saturday's game against the Cubs, that the only thing more concerning than the Braves blowing a 10-2 lead is the fact that you were packing for your trip a week in advance. That was really what explain. You quit watching a baseball game to pack for a vacation that wasn't even happening in the next 24 hours?
Because I have a family of 4, and we have to make sure we have bottles clean. We have to make sure we have clean clothes for the baby. We have to make sure we have diapers for the baby. So
Do they
there's
get
a
to
lot.
wear anything during the week?
I have special things laid out. Yes, they do. But
I've heard of
How many bottles do you have?
I've heard of like the
Or-
doomsday
upwards of
preppers.
20, I think.
I've heard of the doomsday preppers. Apparently, he's like a Disney Day prepper or something like that.
Yeah.
Speaking of Disney Day prepper, so here's our segue. Come on, guys, do it. Come on, come on.
Segway.
Thank you.
Segway.
Thank you. So here is why the iamGEEK guys are here. Hopefully,
I'm
you
here to
guys
talk about sports. I
I'm here to
don't
talk
know.
about sports.
Yeah.
I'm all about sports.
quit line. Hopefully, you guys at least looked at our podcast Disney bracket, because I know a lot of you didn't fill it out. Yes, I'm calling you out. I'm calling all of our fans out. I was disappointed in your participation in this.
One of your fans said, "No one needs that," which I'm
Yeah.
just like, whatever.
Cameron Humphrey. Yeah, we have words with Cameron Humphrey. He's an
I
Auburn
disagree
fan. He's an Auburn fan. I'm sad.
Oh.
Nobody needs Auburn.
Right? No one needs Auburn. Their coach is fat.
What would wait, Dave? What would jock bowling be without Auburn?
Yeah, jock bowling. Come on. That's
Okay.
catching on.
So we are going to pick up the bracket where we left off on the iamGEEK show. Hopefully, you listened to the iamGEEK show as Ryan now changes from his Dodgers hat to his Mickey ears.
My son's Mickey's here, so they don't really fit me, but whatever.
So
Ryan.
I'm going to hand control the show over to our resident Disney expert, Mr. Adam Russell.
Well, thank you, David. I appreciate that.
Whoa,
A high vote of confidence.
David.
Well, yeah,
Really?
you called me an expert. I call you by your full name. Then that's only respectful.
That's my Christian name. Okay. Okay.
All right. So we already picked last week. We picked the first round just to set everybody up, and so we're going to start with the second round. Start at what on the bracket is the top left, which I believe Dave was the thrill category. Is that right?
was the thrill category. Yes.
All right. So we'll go through them one by one, and we'll do the same thing last week where we discussed amongst ourselves, come to a consensus, and then the consensus is the winner. And I'm also tracking the 6 brackets that we got. 6. And and tracking the results, and then the winner will get a good feeling inside that they matched what we thought. And that's about it.
You got more than us.
Or 20% off tomorrow on
You got
iamGEEK
0.
t-shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah, here you go. The winner gets 20% off of the iamGEEK spreadshirt site tomorrow.
Wow.
Or tomorrow or the next day. You got 2 days to buy those shirts.
Fantastic.
Maybe I'll get a shirt.
Have you not got
I'm
one
gonna
of your
get
own
some.
show?
No, he does not have a shirt.
He's
I
going
have a
to
shirt,
now.
Hank has
He's going to
a
have to buy one.
I gotta get one now because
Okay.
We're going to be at Comic Palooza. I'm just going to set it out there.
We got a
Shameless plug.
Yeah, shameless plug. We're going to be at Houston's the largest Comic-Con in Texas.
there you go.
See, Dave, this is what happens when you hand control the show over.
I know.
Anyways, Disney, here we go.
welcome to iamGEEK.
All right.
Yeah.
Sideline warning. We're on sideline warning.
Are you though? Are you?
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Mwaha. So the first
Inception.
pick, Expedition Everest with Disco Yeti versus Test Track. Who wants to go first?
So I'm going to go first, and I've actually got Expedition Everest winning this. If this was the original Test Track, I think Test Track would have won in my mind. But with the updates, the advertisement for Chevy, I think Everest is the better ride here.
Okay, I'll go.
Yeah, go for it. Please.
I'm going with Everest. It's a roller coaster that goes backwards.
Wow.
The track changes before your eyes. I mean, what more
Does
could
it
you
though?
want? Yeah,
Does
it
it
does.
though?
You almost go
Yeah,
off a cliff.
it
or
physically
about
does.
There are hair ties everywhere for some reason that people throw off. There's a drop. There's a roundabout. There's you can see Epcot. You can see
Yeah.
what else can you see? I don't know. You can see about
Swan and
everything.
Dolphin.
Other things.
Swan and Dolphin.
You see Swolfen.
I love it. But it was better when the Yeti moved and his hand actually.
down.
Since Test Track is on this thing, I'm just going to mention it. There was a new ride that opened up at Universal Studios yesterday. Fast and the Furious.
Yep.
It should have been Test Track, but they blew it. We could talk about it tonight.
It's Kong 2.0.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyways, so mine is Everest. Even though I love Test Track, I'm going to choose Everest.
All right.
Sure.
Yeah. My
uh,
turn.
I would, like I said last time, Test Track to me is just a drive to work. I'd have to go with Expedition Everest because it's a fun ride, and plus you got Josh Gates in there from
Yes.
Expedition Unknown and all, and what's the other show that he was on before?
Destination Truth.
Destination Truth. They found that there's an actual Yeti footprint that's in the line when you're waiting in line.
The castle's taken on the actual mountain.
Yeah, actually found on Everest. So there's history there. You learn things.
Fantastic.
Knowledge.
Wow.
So that's 3 votes for Everest, so we can only tie.
Who wants to be the deciding factor? Because I picked Test Track.
All right.
If the Yeti moved, I would have picked Everest, but
Wow.
I can't do Disco Yeti.
Well,
Anybody?
I haven't ridden the updated Test Track, but I would say that I like Test Track better. So I can't be fair here. Plus, I haven't ridden. I don't do the crazy roll, which I know it's not that
Okay.
crazy, but
All right.
You will.
but
Ben Foster.
And
Am I the deciding vote?
You're the
You
deciding
are.
vote. First one.
Well,
First
let me.
one.
Well, then let me just revel in this moment and tell you guys that the Spurs are up 6 at half on the Warriors.
Oh, thank goodness.
I knew you guys were concerned.
I'm happy that they are.
good.
So
I'm
no,
happy for both.
I've got to say, I've never actually ridden either of these rides, but the only thing I love more than discos are Yetis, and to imagine a disco Yeti, that kind of puts me over the top. Let's go Everest.
All right. Everest.
there we
it
go.
is.
All right.
All right. Move on to the next bracket then. We have a Space Mountain versus the Tower of Terror.
Actually, it says Tower Terror.
Terror.
Like tarot cards?
I messed that.
Terror.
My bad.
So they have the football fiestas.
Yeah. So I've got to go with Space Mountain here. It's a classic. Tower Terror is a great ride, but Space Mountain is a classic, and you just can't really bet against the classics.
All right. Next.
I'm going with Ric Flair on this one. Woo! Space Mountain all the way. Woo! Especially if you ride it with the lights on. It's amazing.
I don't know. I may go against grain here. I think I may go Tower Terror.
You're a weirdo.
I know I am. Just because there's just something about the Twilight Zone and putting that in there, and the whole it's a huge experience, and it really kind of envelops you in it. Which Space Mountain is fun, but it's a roller coaster, and Tower Terror is an experience.
Well, you haven't been on it in a long time. They've added a bunch of
I'm sure they
stuff too.
I'm just
There's games
going
you
off.
can play.
I'm just going off what I know.
You're in the queue.
I gotta go Tower of Terror.
Tarot cards.
Yeah, I went the same. I went Tower of Terror. It's just like you said, it's an immersive experience. And I've ridden Space Mountain in California. I know what Space Mountain can be, and ours just doesn't measure up. So I went Tower of Terror.
Yeah, I've also done that one. That one's nice.
Well, I haven't.
Well,
I'm not a big thrill ride person, to be honest. Roller coasters kind of freak me out, and I gotta say, I do love Space Mountain and Tower of Terror, and in spite of my hatred of roller coasters, and I would put both of these like in the final four, and I hate that they're matching up this early. But that said, I'm a classic guy, and I love Space Mountain, so I'm gonna go with Space Mountain.
all right, that's 3-2.
Wow.
You're it, Katrin. Wow.
I'm
split.
Wow, I hate both of them, but I will say that Space Mountain. One of the reasons I hate it, I think, is because I really can't see what's going on. I know it's not that fast, but it feels like it's fast. But it's just black. There's just like nothing going on. So just you guys have talked me into Tower of Terror, I believe. That it's a better experience, and I'll have to try that sometime, maybe.
All right, that's 3-3.
You haven't been on it?
No.
He hasn't been.
Wow.
You've been on Space Mountain. You
But he
haven't
doesn't
been on
like-
the other, and you're going to vote for the one you haven't been on?
Yeah,
That should be illegal. That's like an NCAA football field.
Okay. So the top of the lid is heads. The bottom of the lid is tails.
We can't discount votes.
Wait,
So-
what are you
so-
flipping, Dave?
It's a lid.
It's a cap.
Wow.
So Space Mountain is heads. Tower of Terror is tails. You ready?
Do it.
We can't.
Space Mountain won.
Now, wait a minute.
Wait, nobody can see.
I trust them.
Thank you. I'm glad somebody does.
That's so sweet. All right. Big Thunder Mountain, classic roller coaster versus Dinosaur, the scariest thing on property outside of when the monorail breaks down.
So first of all, Dinosaur shouldn't be here. Soren was grossly misinterpreted on this last podcast. Soren should be here, and Soren should be moving on. But because I'm doing this in protest, Big Thunder Mountain wins just by default.
Hey, Dave, sometimes first round upsets happen, and you just have to deal with it. I'm sorry your bracket got destroyed.
All right, Big Thunder Mountain all the way for me. It's my favorite ride at Disney World, bar none. I know it probably won't win, but for me, it's my favorite ride. I love it. Every time I get on it, I giggle like a little kid. It's got everything. It's got theming. The theming's amazing. It's got
Better at Disneyland.
Listen, we're not going on a Disneyland. It's a Disney World ride. It's if you go at nighttime, it's beautiful. If you go during the fireworks, you see the fireworks over top. It's got the it's got that old school feel, but it's just got the excitement of a train, like runaway train ride. I love it.
Yeah. Big Thunder Mountain. It's got a goat.
Oh,
What
There you
do
go.
want?
the goat factor.
Explosions?
The goat factor's in there. Explosions, goats. What more can you ask for?
In sports,
Tub.
in sports, GOAT is greatest of all time. So are you saying that this is the GOAT of roller coasters?
Yes, for me.
That's a sports term.
Right up there with jock bowling. All right.
Go ahead.
I've got Big Thunder Mountain too, so
All right,
we can
so
blow through.
yeah,
Whoa,
Yeah,
has anybody picked Dinosaur?
no,
No.
because it shouldn't have been there.
I feel like somebody ought to pick Dinosaur, right?
Nope. Nobody has.
I
No.
love both of these rides, as a matter of fact, but I do have Big Thunder Mountain Railroad.
So nobody's picking Dinosaur.
No.
Nope.
No.
All right, I'll make it unanimous then. Big Thunder Mountain.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. I think next one's an attraction only one of us has been on, Flight of Passage
Right.
versus Rock and Roller Coaster.
You should have went out this last week and went on it.
I know.
You live there. No excuse.
It's my daughter's birthday party this weekend. Come on, give me
What?
that.
Okay.
So your daughter's
that-
birthday isn't even till next week.
Listen,
So
birthdays
have
happen
your-
once a year. You can always
you
catch
have-
it next year.
You have your
And
daughter's
Disney's
birthday
always
at
there
Disney.
as well.
Take the birthday to Disney. What's
Yeah,
the-
you could have taken her to Disney.
Yeah, that'd have been a better present. God.
Yeah. You ruined your daughter's birthday.
So, okay, so let's get back on track here, gentlemen.
No.
So, because I haven't ridden Flight of Passage, I'm going to have to say Rock and Roller Coaster because it is my favorite roller coaster on property. So I'm going Rock and Roller Coaster here.
Next, Bueller.
Bueller.
Going. Go ahead.
I got. Well, I've only ridden Rock and Roller Coaster, but I know a lot about Flight of Passage because you're on a breathing animal and
I can paint you a picture if you
But
want.
it's not a goat.
You have painted a lovely picture for me before, and
Painted it
I've
like
got
a French
hanging-
woman.
I've got it hanging in our living room. It's very nice. So I would actually go with Flight of Passage, even though I haven't ridden it. But it just, if I had to go there right now, I would go and ride that.
There you
Good
go.
luck.
All right.
3-hour wait.
I've only heard one person say they didn't like it. So, and it was on the internet. So you can't trust the internet.
Yeah.
Everything you read on the internet.
But everybody else on the internet says they love it. So it's like you only have to believe because usually there's somebody. It's like you guys say you don't like dinosaur, right? And it's like I love dinosaur, but it's like if everybody said they hated dinosaur, it'd be a different story. But there's plenty of people who do. But everybody says they love Flight of Passage, so it's got to be true.
Okay.
So I'm going with
Right.
Flight of Passage.
I'm going with Flight of Passage too. It was an amazing ride, and it takes you to a different place, a different world, and it does it almost flawlessly.
If you're a fan of Soarin', it sounds like a better Soarin'.
Oh, it's a way better Soarin'. Way better Soarin'.
Look, it's hard for me to beat Aerosmith and Rock and Roller Coaster. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I agree. I have Coaster too.
Okay. Ben, you're the deciding vote again.
I'm gonna side with my Sideline Warning co-host and rock and roll.
And because this is
Lift the
our
cap.
podcast, Rock and Roller Coaster wins.
Wait,
Boom
no, it's a
shakalaka.
tie right now.
It's a tie.
It's a tie. I will flip everything in this room.
All right.
Give me something to
Heads,
flip.
Rock and Roller Coaster.
No, I don't trust you.
Heads, Rock and Roller Coaster. Tails, Flight of Passage, or whatever.
Blair's Passage.
Rock and Roller Coaster.
You're a liar.
Playing the same way since
You
it's kind of
sure?
heavy from the bottom.
Go
It
ahead
has
and
two
write
heads on it, doesn't it? That bottle
No.
cap has two heads.
1, 2. All right, Adam. Go ahead and write that R&R.
Got it.
Rest
All
in
right,
peace.
There's
next,
going to be a lot of people that listen to this is going to be very mad.
They're going to just stop listening.
They're going
Kind
to
of like
mad.
the Soren,
Sideline
kind of like
Warning.
Soren losing a dinosaur. Kind of like Soren losing a dinosaur.
If you're listening to this right now and you're upset about our choices and you're actually a listener, feel free to call 931-44-BLITZ.
I call all the time.
Dave is really sore about Soren losing, but he's that guy who also doesn't pick any 12-5 upsets in the basketball bracket.
That was this one time. Normally, I do pick 5-12s, and if you look, no 5-12s happened this year.
You gotta pick some, and Dave's upset because an actual upset happened in the first round.
Fine.
That's
All
the
right,
way it
Adam.
goes, man.
How are we doing
Right.
this? We going down to the next bracket, or are we just going to fill that bracket to completion?
Let's go all the way around.
All right.
So Spaceship Earth versus Star Tours.
Oh, it's a hard one.
Mm.
I've got an upset, a mild upset. I got Star Tours winning this. It's a quote-unquote thrill ride, so it gives you some action. And I understand you want to thank a Phoenician every now and then, but you can only ride Spaceship Earth a couple of times for like, okay, I've done it. So Star Tours changes every time,
Well, supposed to.
For some.
Moderate.
For
supposedly.
everybody.
All right, who else?
What's a dead air on this episode?
Yeah, I'm telling you.
I think I'll go with Star Tours. I mean, I do appreciate the nostalgia of the golf ball I said Starship Earth, but Starship Troopers. I love that show.
Jefferson Starship.
Starship Troopers. Yeah, I think Star Tours is a bit more exciting, and the only thing I can say about the Starship, Spaceship Earth. I'm not gonna say it now. Spaceship Earth is it's the thing at the end where you get to put your face in the thing with the saying and the postcards and get to go down and go in that big room afterwards and do all the interactive things is really fun.
But not fun enough.
But man,
But you get to build your own lightsaber.
I
at
love
end
the
of
smells. That's one thing. It's like Disney. I'm all about all the smells at Disney, right? But it's and that one has a bunch of them. Star Tours doesn't, except for sweaty guys, I guess. But
That smell.
I don't know. I've had some really cool moments on Star Tours, so I think I'm going with that. Yeah, as long.
That was awesome.
Sorry.
Between the video we got and the stream of consciousness, that was fantastic. Okay. Ryan or Chris?
The Spaceship Earth has lied to me for years.
What?
We're not teleporting packages. Still, it's a huge lie. It's a ball of lies.
Wait, they don't do that anymore. They don't do that on that, right?
They used to, right? And the ball.
I think you're thinking of a different ride.
No, they did that.
Cup ball, the giant cup ball. It was sponsored by FedEx at one point or something, and they had like packages at the end of it.
They don't do that
we're
anymore.
Zapping it from Mars to Earth, and like,
No.
yeah. Well, they lied. It didn't happen. So
They got rid of the lie.
It's
Lie
still there.
line.
it's still in me. The lie's still there. So I got to go with Star Tours.
All right.
That's 3.
Need one more. Anybody picking it? Star Tours? Anybody? I do.
I'm a classic guy. I love the older rides. I love the things that are just like quintessential Disney. And Spaceship Earth is one of those things. And that's just one of those things you think about. But also, it really needs to be updated.
Yeah.
I got to go Star Tours.
All right.
Wow.
So that's 4. We can close it out. Was anybody going to pick Spaceship Earth?
I'm just going to pick it because, it's one of the originals,
Well, you lose.
For Epcot.
No,
Well,
no
I
longer
know,
sponsored by Siemens.
No, it's not.
Well, that's what she said. But,
Siemens.
sorry. But it does. I mean, it's got a lot of. The thing I like about Spaceship Earth is it's got a lot of Easter eggs in it. There's a lot of stuff you can look for.
Yeah.
That's cool stuff if you know the background of it. So, but
Nice.
it's fine. I love Star Tours too, so I'm good with either one of those.
Yeah. And shout out to the smell of Rome burning.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Got it.
After
Yes.
you guys ride
I love
Flight of
that.
Passage, you'll come back to this episode. You'll apologize and you'll change your answer for that one. But
Have you guys seen, real quick, just to take a quick segue, don't give me that face, Dave. Have you seen the candle companies that reproduce Disney smells?
yes,
They have one for Rome burning. I got my dad for Christmas.
yeah.
It's something. All right. Should we all just answer the next one at the same time?
We should
Toy
give
Story
them the-
Mania versus Carousel of Progress?
No, because I'm sure people are not going to vote the way I voted. Actually, you might, Adam. You might.
All right, Dave, go ahead.
Carousel of Progress. It is original Disney. And right now, Toy Story Mania is only one track with no Fast Pass. So I am skipping it this weekend.
It's only been that way for like 15 minutes, man. Come
when
on.
I'm skipping it this weekend when I'm down there. And I will not skip Carousel of Progress.
You can never just walk on to Toy Story Mania like you can Carousel Progress. I'll say that.
People don't know what they're missing.
That's what I'm saying. It's nice. It's a nice feature. It's a good nap. Good thing to watch. We enjoy it.
Great.
Is that your pick?
Carousel of Progress. COP.
I don't know. I can't decide on that one, but I'm gonna go. Man, I'm sorry. I'm gonna go with Toy Story Mania.
All right.
All right.
Ryan,
I think I'm going with Carousel of Progress because it is an original, and because Toy Story Mania, every time I do it, I always get that stupid beaver at the end. No matter how many points I get, it's always the stupid beaver, and I don't want the beaver anymore. I want it to be a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
nice.
I do love it, but no.
2-1.
I gotta go with Toy Story Mania.
Yes.
Yep.
Because Toy Story.
I'm not a moron.
All right. 2-2.
Ben Foster.
I love the classics. I'm gonna go with Carousel of Progress. I'm down with COP. Yeah, you know me.
I knew that was coming. All right, Adam, I know what your pick is, so we can go ahead and put.
Please hold. Not so fast, my friend.
What?
He even brought out the pencil. He brought out the pencil.
Pencils here.
Toy Story Mania is my pick. Believe it or not.
Oh yeah.
It is. Yes.
So we now have a true tie.
Yes.
It's not just
All
a
of them
Sideline Warning iamGEEK tie. This is a
that's
true.
Adam Russell, I barely know thee. I really
I
thought
don't
you were going to
know.
be a Carousel of Progress guy there.
All right.
What do we do if it lands on the side? It's carousel.
Just do the cap again. Does nobody have a quarter anywhere handy?
Here, I'll do
got a
this.
$50.
This is more
Yeah,
fun.
do that.
Okay, so Darth Vader will be Darth Vader's Carousel of Progress. Anakin Skywalker is
It's the same person, though.
Toy
Brian.
Story Mania. Here we go. Ready?
What are you
Okay.
talking about?
Oh.
For those
Yeah,
that
that
can-
works.
Stop
Reese
smiling.
Witherspoon.
All right, one more time. Here we go.
Here we go.
this is riveting radio, folks. Riveting
Oh,
wow.
radio.
Hear it?
It's good to
Hear it?
Oh
no!
Oh, Toy Story Mania.
And I'll say our listeners are very pleased because 3 of the 6 people had that going all the way. So,
Wow. I don't.
Okay. Hayden Christensen just screwed the pooch again.
again,
I mean,
I hate sand.
okay. I will.
Toy Story Mania.
I had Carousel of Progress in my final 4, in my final game.
Wow. Busted.
I didn't.
Here's a
Bracket.
riveting one for you guys. Peter Pan or the Enchanted Tiki Room.
So I got in a lot of trouble for saying the Enchanted Tiki Room is pointless and not worth the time last week on the iamGEEK show. But I'm also going to have Enchanted Tiki Room losing to Peter Pan here. I can really not care about either of these. Peter Pan is not one of my favorite rides. It breaks down every time I'm on it. So
You think that might be a weight issue?
Sounds like a personal problem.
I think there should be a height requirement on like a limit at the top.
Sorry.
Everyone else in Never Neverland is trying to not grow up, and Dave already has.
Oh, so I'm going to go Peter Pan.
Peter Pan.
Well, all the birds sing words and the flowers bloom, so I got to go with the tiki room. And plus, it still has the Dole Whip, so
I know. I know.
you can't beat the Dole Whip.
Can't beat the Dole Whip. I'm going Tiki Room.
Wow.
Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room.
Oh.
Very nice.
This isn't
Oh,
Walt
you know
Disney's. This
Under
is
old
actually-
management.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Peter Pan.
All right.
It's a must ride for our family.
2 and 2.
Very nice.
I love Peter Pan. I definitely think it's a must ride, but it's not the Tiki Room, and the Tiki Room is the best. That is one of the things I think about as soon as I think about Disney World. So I've got to go Tiki Room. I wish they weren't matching up against Peter Pan so early in the bracket.
Yeah, and I got to go the same way with the Tiki Room.
There you
Tiki
go.
moves on.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
All right.
And Chris moves on, apparently.
Yeah.
He has had it.
And now he's back. Okay. So the last one in this bracket, Adam.
Yep. Haunted Mansion versus Dumbo.
I had a really hard time with this one.
Really?
Because, well, do y'all remember why I chose Dumbo last time?
Just take that out of the equation, though.
No. This is my daughter's favorite animal. She loves Dumbo. The video
Well,
I have
let your
of-
daughter pick it for her bracket.
Yeah, she's not on the show.
I want to hear what
My
Dave's
daughter-
bracket says.
Oh, I've got Haunted Mansion moving on.
There we go.
But my daughter did want to be on the show, but it's past her bedtime. So
She's
She'll
tuckered
have
out
to
from all that
Should
packing.
have my son wants to be on one, so we need to just have our kids all on there and have
Yeah.
chaos.
Just have them do it by themselves.
My kid wants to be on it too, but I don't have one. So
Your cat.
Wife.
okay.
Megatron.
So Haunted Mansion, I got moving on.
All right.
Next.
Haunted Mansion.
On a mansion. Yeah.
Yep, Haunted
Haunted
Mansion.
Mansion. Yeah. And I just got to say, if you do get up to Disneyland, the Haunted Mansion there, during the holidays, they changed it to Nightmare Before Christmas. Oh, it's awesome. Like it's
Is it my turn now, Dave? This is Walt Disney World. This is not the Disneyland.
I was just saying, like, get out there and ride it.
Okay.
Love
Adam, he was trying to give y'all more money for your company, so.
Hey, I'm all for it, man. Visit early, often. I love it. All right, moving on to the boat ride region, we have Pirates of the Caribbean versus Gran Fiesta Tour.
The Pigskin Fiesta?
Hey, this is another one that's tough because I love the Grand Fiesta Tour, and I'm a little mad at Pirates right now. Me wants the redhead, but I'm going to go with Pirates.
All right.
Pirates.
Yeah, I gotta go with Pirates.
All right. All the way across.
Fiesta. No.
All right. Jungle Cruise versus Cali River Rapids.
Jungle Cruise all the way. Cali River Rapids only won because it was up against the Navi River journey, and it's way too short, and I've never ridden it.
I thought the Navi River won.
No.
I've got Navi on mine.
I've re-listened to it, and actually.
I thought we flipped on that one.
No, we flipped on one down the lower one.
Well, Jungle Cruise wins anyway. So.
Yeah.
Either one. Yeah.
Yeah, Jungle Cruise.
Yeah.
Yep. Jungle Cruise.
Gotta agree.
All right.
Yep.
Perfect.
Hey, Ben, do we have an update on the score?
It has been very back and forth, and we're actually in a commercial break. So the Warriors came out strong at the start of the third and took the lead, and then some clutch shooting from the Spurs got them back on track. So the Spurs are up right now.
All right. Well, there you go. There's your sports in our Disney stuff, and remember we are a sports podcast. So back to Disney now.
Hey, the Dodgers are still winning 6-2.
Who cares about the Dodgers?
time? It's about time.
Who cares about the Dodgers? The Braves beat the Phillies tonight.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, they did.
Wait, why does it say they lost on here?
Well, you're looking at the wrong thing.
Oh, sorry.
And Golden State's taking the lead back. They're up 59-56 right now with 7:47 left to go in the third.
Uh-oh.
There we go.
There was your live update by Ben Foster.
That won't be live when this podcast gets out.
I'm interested to hear if this is unanimous or not. Splash Mountain versus the People Mover.
I have Splash.
Splash Mountain. I didn't vote for the People Mover even last time, so Splash Mountain.
The People Mover is one that I ride every time I'm there. Splash Mountain, I love it, but I don't like walking around with my behind wet.
Good point.
All the time. So I only ride Splash Mountain is if I know, okay, I'm getting off this ride and I'm going back to the hotel. Because I don't like the chafing down there.
Chub rub.
Yeah. So, it's a hard one, but because I love Splash Mountain, but my butt does not. So my butt loves the People Mover because it gets to rest. It doesn't get wet.
You can always get on, pretty much.
Yep. So I'm going People Mover.
All right.
I'll go with People Mover as well.
Oh, wow. 2-2.
All right.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm going to jump in and quickly say Splash Mountain.
And I'll second that to make it 4-2.
There we go.
So I apologize to your butt.
I side with the sports guy.
You can get rashes from that water too. So, geez.
Yeah. You ever try to drink it? Man.
No.
Yeah,
It's on your
all the
skin.
time.
Well, let's not make any rash decisions about the rides there.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Waka
All right.
waka.
The next, It's a Small World versus Frozen Ever After, both of which contain songs you cannot stop listening to.
So I'm going to let it go, and I'm going to pick Frozen Ever After.
I think I have to vote Small World just because of that joke.
Look, my daughter loves both of these rides, but I have to ride Small World at least 3 times every time I'm at Disney World, and it gets on my nerves hearing that stupid song over and 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 over. So, Frozen wins.
Have y'all seen the updated version in Tokyo? I think it is, where they have
Real children.
it's all the same except for there's like Elsa's in there all of a sudden, and then you've got Jungle Book characters in it, and I was like, that's pretty cool. I wish we had that, but I'm gonna go with Small World because it's classic Disney. Because yeah, I don't know. I didn't care for Frozen ride that much, but whatever.
I haven't ridden Frozen, so I'd have to pick Small World, but I do like It's a Small World.
Yeah.
All right. Ben Foster?
Yeah, I think I'm still mad at Elsa for replacing the Maelstrom, so I'm still mad about that. But I think I'd be picking It's a Small World anyway. So got to go with the classic.
Yep, and that's my vote too. Small World closes that out. Mm-hmm. And now what I call the turtle bracket with a Turtle Talk with Crush and then a ride that moves at a turtle's pace. Tomorrowland Speedway.
So I do want to give a shout out to Ryan for giving correct information on iamGEEK. Crush is voiced by the same guy that does Jack from Halloween Horror Nights.
Never doubt me.
I did get an expert on Halloween Horror Nights to second that and let us know. But
just because I don't have a Halloween Horror Nights podcast,
I mean,
doesn't make me any less of an expert.
How many times have you been to Halloween Horror Nights?
Oh, so many.
Are you friends with the guy that made out with the clown in in a maze?
That was me.
What? What? I don't even want to know.
Listen to the Scare Zone, and you'll hear them talking about that. But anyway,
I was at that event, by the way, where he said that he was Crush.
Yeah. Okay.
I was there at the event, face to face with the man himself.
He was probably there for free.
Yeah.
No, it was for charity, so I paid.
Okay.
It was for charity.
Okay.
You usually get free stuff to go
But
there.
I'm just kidding.
Not your charity?
I'm just kidding.
Charity.
Dave.
Okay. So
hard time.
I've got Tomorrowland Speedway winning here just because Turtle Talk with Crush is kind of boring to me. Of course, my daughter's not old enough to really get it yet. So I'm going with Tomorrowland Speedway. And I'm a NASCAR fan.
I went on there with my 3-year-old or 2-year-old at the time, and he wanted to drive, and it was pretty funny. I'm like, no, you're not driving. Even though we're on the track, I know you. I live with you. You're not driving the car, but I love it. I even loved you got the fumes because they use the gas. You're like, man, it's like old school. They're like, they don't care that the environment. They're just gonna guzzle the gas and on this
I'm dying here.
I'm dying here. Leaves you with a buzz afterwards.
You can make it through the rest of the day. I got to go with Turtle Talk with Crush just because of the technology behind it. Because it's really awesome. I mean, it's done with basically kind of puppetry. I mean, it's a live thing where the guy's interacting with people and moving it around, and just the amount of effort and everything put into I would know that the animators putting into all that to do that to make it work is insane. And that just amazes me every time I see it. So I just got to go with Turtle Talk.
So that's how many? Two.
That's 2 for Speedway and 1 for Turtle Talk.
I just want to say that LaMarcus Aldridge has got 26 points, and he's just in there just banging it home from right there, doing work on the glass, and that kind of reminds me of a classic ride like the Tomorrowland Speedway. So that's my pick.
There you go.
Bring it on home.
All right, Kate.
I'll go with Tomorrowland Speedway.
All right. So Speedway it is. The next one is Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin versus Prince Charming's Carousel. 2 rides that go in circles.
Space Space Ranger spin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Space Ranger spin.
Yeah.
Say it.
Buzz Lightyear.
It's funny that was one of the, I think, 3 or 4 attractions that was unanimous across the board out of this round was Buzz. Everybody picked that one, so no surprise there.
No.
Yep.
And then 2 riveting shows: Hall of Presidents versus the Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor Comedy Club.
Hall of Presidents is huge.
It's huge.
It's huge. We're going Hall of Presidents.
I
It's
don't know.
evidently a tough one.
It's like a flip of the
Yeah.
flip of the Vader for
I can go
me.
either way on this one.
If Monsters Inc. was not in Tomorrowland, it would make me feel different about it.
Mm.
I think it takes up too much real estate in Tomorrowland and has nothing to do with Tomorrowland. That's what makes it hard for me.
So, what's your pick? What's that?
Does anybody have one that they
I'm going to go with Laugh Floor. Go with
Okay.
Monsters Inc.
1-1?
Definitely got to go Hall of Presidents. You're getting the fun attraction. You're getting something that's very cool and very classic, and also you can claim here's that educational element. So it's that extra excuse to get your kid out of school to go to Disney World. Look, they're learning something. So Hall of Presidents.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
classic element to it's why I picked Hall of Presidents too.
Yeah, Hall of
We'll go with
Presidents.
Hall of Presidents.
All
Sure.
right.
Well, you're all wrong, but that's okay.
And then last one for this round is Astro Orbiter versus Winnie the Pooh.
Ooh.
This is the Tennessee versus Auburn of this round. I
Come
can-
on.
Tennessee.
Come on, dude. Come on.
I could care less. I'm afraid of the heights, so I've never ridden Astro Orbiter.
Oh, that's going to change this coming weekend.
Oh, is it?
Oh, video that.
Okay. And then I'm also, you know why I don't like the Mini Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. But just because of the classicness of it, I've got the Orbiters winning.
All right.
So which
The
one?
one thing I don't like about the Orbiter is that you have to wait in that long line to go up an elevator.
A hot elevator. It's like a steam box.
It just takes forever.
And why do I want to ride this weekend, Adam?
Because you have to.
But you
So
just
we
said
can
it's
make fun of you.
nostalgia. You need to like it.
I can't remember the last time I rode it though, and I want to ride it, but every time I walk over there and I see the line and see the elevator, I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah. Winnie the Pooh.
I guess
So
Winnie the
Pooh.
Pooh.
2 for Pooh.
I'm gonna vote for the Astro Orbiter.
Oh. And that was my vote too. It goes fast enough, and the angle that they sit on actually kind of is scary sometimes. So yeah, Dave, you're riding that. So that's a 3-3. So
Yeah,
we got
all
a
right.
tie.
Like
Bust out
Vader
the
time.
Vader.
It's Vader time! It's Vader time! That's a wrestling thing for those. who don't.
Vader or who's the front? Why does it keep doing that? Okay. Pooh, and
So
then whatever the other one is.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Pooh.
Who it is?
Oh. I just took a massive steaming poo on our bracket.
Okay, moving along. So, so going back to the top left of the bracket into the thrill division, we've got Everest versus Space Mountain.
Two roller coasters, but the better of the two roller coasters is Everest. Everest wins.
Well, in your book.
It should in everybody's book.
Space Mountain wins in my book.
Oh, you're just wrong.
Yeah, I gotta go
I would
Space
actually have to
Mountain.
go- Yeah,
You're wrong,
I'd have to go with Space Mountain on this one.
And you're wrong too. Who's next?
Yeah, I would say Space Mountain too. I just can't get past Disco Yeti. As exciting as that might be for Ben.
You're wrong too.
Well, it's not.
And I
It's not
just-
so. Disco Yeti is exciting, but not more exciting than Space Mountain.
Okay. Well, then I guess Space Mountain wins.
All right.
Roll Tide.
Road Tide. Road Tide.
Oh, what's wrong?
Next, battle of 2 more coasters. Big Thunder Mountain versus Rock and Roller Coaster.
I think you guys know my pick.
So this
Yeah,
should be
it's one for-
Soarin' versus Rock and Roller Coaster.
Oh
But
my
it's not.
gosh.
But I'm.
way.
No.
way.
No,
Forgot about
Soren
the
was
Big
never going to
Thunder.
get past Big Thunder Mountain.
Oh yes, it would have.
It has big and thunder in the title.
I believe
Soarin'
my
has
wife had Soarin'
Misspelled
winning
word.
all the way out.
Your wife is wrong.
Can we go wake her up and let you tell her that?
She's going to
go
listen
ahead.
to the podcast soon enough.
Yeah, we've got a 10-hour drive. She'll listen to this podcast probably 8 times.
It's really more
I've
of a
got
problem
rock
for you, Dave, than it is for the rest of us.
Yeah.
I've got Rock and
Do
Roller
that.
Coaster winning this. Rock and Roller Coaster.
I'm going Big Thunder.
Big Thunder.
Oh, I'm definitely with Big Thunder. Rock and Roller Coaster has made it way too far into the bracket. It is time for them to be done. Big Thunder.
That old lady's got to go. Old lady's got to go.
I would like to show y'all my champion here.
I can't see that.
If you're in this
Rock and
little
roller
tiny-
coaster.
Well,
So your bracket's really wrong.
It's
Okay.
busted.
Wow, Dave, that's
That's the wrongest I've seen you be in a long time. Well, not that long, but still.
the
Very
wrongest I've
long.
seen Dave be in 5 minutes.
I need new co-hosts.
Hey, you guys can come on iamGEEK if he doesn't want you. Come on over.
More the merrier.
I'm just going to start my own geek podcast.
Okay.
What would you call it?
I don't know.
The no geek.
All right.
The
Next
wrong
one's
geek.
Star
This
Tours.
is so much fun.
Thanks. Star Tours versus Toy Story Mania.
Oh.
Wait, I thought Carousel Progress won. Yeah, Carousel Progress won.
Oh, did
yeah.
it win?
Yeah.
No, Toy Story Mania.
No,
won
Toy Story won on the flip.
on the flip.
Oh, well. In my bracket, I had Carousel Progress, but I'm going
Already
Star
established. Your bracket is wrong.
I'm going Star Tours here. Then, if those are the two I have to choose between.
All right.
Star Tours.
That's 2.
Star Tours.
Yeah, I go Star Tours.
Wait, it's Star Tours or what? Toy Story?
Toy Story Mania.
Mania.
I'm tempted to pick Toy Story, but I'm going to go Star Tours.
Yeah. I had Star Tours too because I can't support any ride that I get carpal tunnel on and I end up with a claw hand.
Oh.
You chose.
Because I was talking to my wife about it earlier today, and she's like, "It's just about having fun. You don't have to like play to get the high score." I'm like, "It's there for a
Yes,
reason.
you do.
It is there for a reason, and I can never beat you."
Just like kickoffs, right?
Exactly. There for
All right.
bringing it back to the front of the show.
I love it. All right, Battle of the Classics now. Tiki Room versus Haunted Mansion.
Mm.
Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion.
If it was the Disneyland Haunted Mansion, I'd go with that one. But I still got to go Tiki Room.
Wow.
This was the Tokyo,
Old.
They still got the Dole Whip.
if this is the Tokyo Disney version, then I would.
I'll walk
Okay.
for the Dole Whip. I mean, if it gets me on Haunted Mansion.
2 for Mansion, 1 for Tiki.
I love the Tiki Birds. It is so much fun. It is so classic. Right now I can just visualize Walt Disney standing there talking to one of the birds, introducing it on TV. It is so cool. But it doesn't move anywhere. You have to walk in and sit down on a bench. The Haunted Mansion, you're actually going on a ride. I got to go Haunted Mansion.
All right.
They have a ghost host.
That's right. I had Mansion too. So Mansion wins.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, in my bracket, I had.
Poor Dave.
Why do we do this crossover episode, guys?
He's never having us on again.
This is exactly why we did this
Can
all right.
we have a new
love
sister
you.
show? Can we have a new sister show, please?
Oh,
Get a new sister.
yeah.
I mean, you don't throw a fit. Come on, man.
That's right.
It's Alabama, so you may be marrying your sister, so.
Good night, folks. That's all the time we've got. I don't care. We don't know who's winning. All right.
Sorry, I apologize.
Go ahead. You drive the rest.
My
of
wife
your
is
own
from
house, smart guy.
Alabama, so she's not my sister. So
And her family traces back to the same city that I was from. So
yeah, we need to
it
talk
just
about
gets
them.
deeper. Keep going.
We need to talk
So
People don't-
Pirates versus Jungle.
Ooh.
Cruise.
Rats.
Yeah, Pirates wins this one, even though I'm not happy with the current version of Pirates. Pirates wins.
Oh, I got to go Pirates too.
Oh, you guys killing me.
So that's 3 for Pirates. Pirates. One more.
Nobody wrote a song about anything. I mean, Skipper Dan. You know what
Really?
it takes to be a skipper on the Jungle Cruise ride? Come on, guys.
We had Skipper Dan on our show.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 3-1. Anybody will make it 4 for Pirates?
Oh gosh, it's hard. I mean,
That one is hard.
my favorite Jungle Cruise though is the very last boat of the night. That's always the best Jungle Cruise because they always go off script and it's pretty hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
But Pirates.
See, when anything in Pirates goes off script, they shut the ride down.
Yeah, they shut the ride down.
Yeah. You don't get to see the other side of water on Pirates.
Well, it depends on, who you are. There's been times when I jumped out of the boat and I've seen this stuff over Pirates. Not really.
No.
Somebody else, I don't know.
That one's hard. That one is hard. They're both really nice rides.
Really good.
They're really nice. They're good. They're nice.
The Pirates has Johnny Depp now. Jungle Cruise is going to have Dwayne Johnson.
Oh, The Rock. Ooh.
What is that music?
Oh, it's
Is that
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah. Don't do it, guys. Don't do it. Mine was Jungle.
Jungle? Okay.
Yeah, Jungle Cruise is great, but it's like you almost have to get a fast pass for it if it's really, really busy because otherwise you're standing in that stupid line outside in the heat and it gets on my nerves. But otherwise, it's a great ride.
I do like the queue of Pirates, just sort of the eerie cave castle with the two
that is nice.
playing chess, and nobody can win the match because they're at a stalemate. Yeah,
I'd probably have to go Pirates.
Pirates.
Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum.
Is he frozen or is he just?
I think he's frozen.
Or is he just really good at sitting still?
He's really mad. He's mad about this one.
Adam, you're frozen, man.
He's gone.
He's
Gave
gone.
up on it.
Let's
He
get him
really
back.
wants the Jungle Cruise.
Let's-
But I'm out.
His computer just locked up. Oh no!
Well,
That's the end of the show.
he's not recording for you guys. But.
No, Ben's recording.
No,
Ben, are you going to be able to edit this, man?
No, this is uneditable.
Just keep this in.
yeah, you don't need to
Comedy
get
gold.
rid of it. It just happens. You flow with it.
Things happening.
All right, he told me to go on to the next bracket. So we've got Pirates won that. So now we've got hold up, I gotta tell him that Pirates won.
Splash versus Small World.
Yeah,
This high-tech
Splash versus
operation
Small
here.
World. Splash versus Small World. I'm gonna go with Splash Mountain here because I had Frozen winning anyway. So I've got Splash winning this one.
The entire rest of the show is Dave second guessing everything else we pick. Well, I know you've got two choices in front of you, but I'd like to tell you about the thing we eliminated 3 rounds ago. I think it was a really good idea.
I'm going Splash just because of the Song of the South characters. Our father read us the book.
Yes.
So
That is
I'm
my reasoning too.
going
All
Splash.
right.
Flash.
That's 3 for Splash.
I'll go for Splash. Yeah.
All right, Splash wins that one.
I'll splash
All
it
right,
as well.
so yeah, Splash wins that one. Let me tell him that one won.
Oh my
Can you get
gosh.
back? Is his computer fixed?
Well, he's rebooting. So now we go on up and we go back to. See, I had Everest versus Rock and Roller Coaster, but I was wrong.
No. We've got
No.
Speedway versus Space Ranger Spin.
Oh, okay. Speedway versus Space Ranger Spin. Oh wow, I totally missed that one. All right,
Here we go.
Tomorrowland Speedway versus Tomorrowland Speedway versus Space Ranger Spin. I've got Space Ranger Spin winning this one.
Yeah, Space Ranger Spin for me.
Yep.
Yes. Space Ranger.
I'm Tomorrowland Speedway.
No.
Of course you are, Ben.
You're
Of course
wrong.
you are. All right.
I just had to do
So-
my Dave impression for a minute there.
Okay. Space Ranger wins that one. Hall of Presence versus Astro Orbiter.
No,
This-
versus Pooh.
Oh, versus Pooh. I'm sorry.
Dave, did you write down anything we actually picked?
No, Adam was doing all that. He's gone.
Looking at your bracket.
I've got it all right here.
Okay,
Got
so
it. Put it down.
Hall of Presidents versus the steaming pile of poo. So this is going to be Hall of Presidents for me.
I'm going with poo.
I'm poo.
Okay, am I misremembering the Winnie the Pooh ride? What's so great about it? I'm not remembering it.
The lumps and woozles and woozles and woozles.
Yeah, I don't really care for either of them. But
My daughter even hates it.
I want to say poo, so I'm going poo.
I like the Winnie the Pooh characters, but I don't remember the Winnie the Pooh being that great of a ride. I'm gonna go with Hall of the Presidents.
All right, so that's 2 for 2. Ryan, you're it.
The deciding factor: do I go with my geek guys or do I go against them?
You go with your gut.
You can go with your gut.
Go with your bottom poo.
Okay, so all presidents you could sleep in.
And you're patraiotic if you
And
vote for the Hall
poo
of
as well
Presidents.
if you want to.
You can sleep with poo.
You don't want to sleep in poo. That's something you try to avoid.
Poo is comedy gold. You gotta go with poo.
Oh gosh.
It's gonna be the same poo, different day. Okay, sorry, I couldn't help it.
Yeah,
Why is it so hard? Where's Adam?
yeah, right. We need to get Adam back. Come on.
Make him pick.
Come on, Ryan. You're up.
I'm just thinking back to both of them, and which one my son would like better, and that would be Pooh.
Poo it is.
Okay.
Poo by a long shot.
All right.
I didn't want to pick either one of them.
Yeah, see, I don't like either one of them.
Yeah, it may not even matter once we get to the next round, right?
Right.
No, it won't matter.
Hold up. I think we're about to have somebody back on here.
Oh.
Ooh, a special guest.
Here I am, guys. It's me. Don't worry.
Is it poo?
This seems like a good time to tell you that Golden State has started hitting some shots, and they're up 82-77 here at the start of the fourth quarter.
What? Did he change clothes? Oh, never mind.
Did he change clothes? Let's get a wardrobe change.
Dave was in a different place.
I actually think he did.
No, I didn't.
Okay. All right, so let's recap for Adam's sake. Winnie the Pooh in an upset, and Space Ranger spin, and
Buzz over Speedway.
yeah, and
All right.
Splash Mountain.
All right, cool.
All right, so now we got our final fours now, or Elite Eight. So we got to pick for the final four.
All right, so first off, Space Mountain versus Big Thunder Mountain.
Big Thunder for me.
Big Thunder.
I gotta go Big Thunder on that one. Gotta go Big
Space is
Thunder.
the place. I'm going with Space Mountain.
Uh-oh, David?
Woo! Space Mountain.
Come on,
Oh, gosh.
Adam.
Big Thunder.
I feel like we've really got to know each other.
Do the right thing, Adam.
We have it. I remember Dave saying something about I need new co-hosts, and
Yeah.
welcomed us. Big Thunder Mountain.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thunder.
All right. Next, Star Tours versus the Haunted Mansion.
Oh.
Haunted Mansion for me.
I think I gotta go Haunted Mansion,
Yeah.
even though I voted against it last time.
Haunted
Yeah.
Mansion.
Gotta go
All right.
Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion all the way.
Yeah.
with this.
All right. That was easy. Next up, Pirates versus Splash Mountain.
Pirates.
Arr.
Arr.
There's the redhead.
Pirates.
Hey, go to Pirates. Oh.
Pirates.
All right.
Dave or Ben?
Yo
you guys say
ho,
Pirates?
yo ho, a pirate's life for me.
Is this
There you
right?
go.
Swiss Family Robinson?
No.
Can we vote for Swiss here?
He's coming up.
Yeah.
It's coming up in a minute. You know.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Got a late entry.
Just hang on,
Wait.
man.
Just keep waiting on that.
All right. Buzz Lightyear versus Winnie the Pooh.
Buzz Lightyear.
Buzz.
Buzz,
Buzz Lightyear should be Hall of Presidents here, but
like the bees in the honey pot. Buzz. All right. So that puts us at.
I'll go Buzz as well.
Thank
thank
you.
you, Ben. Thank you. Casey was wondering where Ben was going.
I was actually just I couldn't go on. All right.
This is a nice Final Four.
So
what
Big
do we
Thunder
got?
Mountain. Our first Final Four matchup: Big Thunder Mountain versus Pirates.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I'm going Big Thunder.
I'm going Big Thunder.
Big Thunder.
I've got to go Pirates.
Uh-oh.
I gotta go Pirates
I've got-
as well. Big Thunder Mountain's amazing, but when you think about Disney World, you definitely think about Pirates of the Caribbean. So I gotta go with the Pirates.
I would agree if it wasn't for the scene change.
Oh,
So Big Thunder Mountain.
Yeah, woohoo!
Here's an argument for it, and Ryan said this earlier. It's two different experiences depending on the time of day that you go. With Pirates, it's only one experience. It's the same every time, right? But
Yeah.
it's different at night. Like you don't know which way you're going, right? It's all of a sudden, whoa, you're going down. Oh, you're going
Dinosaur
this
bones
way.
at night. Oh, it's amazing.
Man,
Mm.
It's still got the
It's just like-
goat.
oh, it's fun.
That whole sports term,
And it-
whatever.
So,
goat.
so this roller coaster might be the GOAT. We don't know.
Who
I mean,
knows?
it's in the final game.
It is.
Yep.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
make a T-shirt after this. It's gonna say Big Thunder and it's gonna say Goat underneath.
Goats.
I'd buy that T-shirt.
There we
Nice.
Hey, what do we-
It'll be 20% off tomorrow.
Big Thunder Goats.
we gotta print that off for the Comic Palooza coming in Houston. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, so we're at Haunted Mansion, Space Ranger Spin.
Yeah, Mansion and Buzz.
Mansion.
Yeah, Mansion.
Gotta go Mansion.
Mansion.
That is almost unanimous.
Buzz,
Very good.
Buzz is that one that made it to the Final Four that just really never belonged there.
Like
Just
Loyola
had the right
Chicago.
matchups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I didn't have to try so hard to see where my little dot was, and if the gun wasn't bolted to the thing, I think
I should probably
Bolted to
tell
the
you guys that Golden State's up 11 right now, 88-77 with 10:24 left in the fourth.
That's Ben Foster with sports. All right.
Here
well,
on Sideline
so the final
Warning.
matchup. So now the final matchup: Big Thunder Mountain versus Haunted Mansion, and all
Before we
final.
vote, Before we vote, let me tell you, I've seen a lot of these little bracket things. Disney's done a lot of these bracket things, but this is the best Final Two I think I've ever seen in any of the brackets.
Yeah.
It always ends up being some weird ride, and you're like, why is that in there? These two rides, when you think of Disney, you think of these two rides. No matter
definitely.
what Disney park you're at,
Yep.
you think of these two rides.
Yep.
So are you saying that we are the best podcast to do this? Because this has been done over and over.
Yeah, iamGEEK and Sideline Warning, the combined forces have created the best
Brain power.
WDW rides bracket out there.
Wonder
Far
Twins unite. I
Mhm.
love it.
Ow.
Now,
Good
now
with
the
that.
real question: who's going to win?
Which one?
Tune in next time on iamGEEK.
No,
No.
no.
Please no.
I won't out of this little hole.
Never.
All right. Well,
All right, Dave.
yeah, go ahead.
I've been riding the Pirate coattails or Haunted Mansion coattails this whole time. It's a great ride, but
This is where Dave makes the case for Soarin' one more time.
Did you consider?
But you can't smell oranges.
I originally had Rock Roller Coaster winning the whole thing, so I'm a roller coaster guy. And I think Katrin and Ryan, kind of convinced me that this is truly two different rides. So I'm going Big Thunder.
Wow.
There you go.
Okie dokie.
I'm
Ryan, I
going-
think we know yours.
Silence.
Yeah, Big Thunder all the way.
Big Thunder.
Lots of good memories of Big Thunder. So I gotta go with Big Thunder.
Yeah. I'll go with Big Thunder as well.
Okay,
What would yours
Big
have been?
Thunder. Big Thunder is so much fun. It is an amazing ride, but it is not nearly as immersive. I get it. It's got its own like shtick around it, but Haunted Mansion is way more of an immersive experience. Just the innovative nature of how it was originally done, projecting the faces and making them follow you, all of that kind of stuff. Haunted Mansion is Disney. It's got to be the winner.
I agree. I like the Disney World version too, with the ring in the concrete. No one will confirm if it's part of the story or not, and all the different ways you can read the storyline based on what part of the ride you're looking at. I'd pick Mansion 2, but alas, it is 4-2, which means that Big Thunder Mountain is our champion.
No.
Big Thunder.
The goat.
So
Go
Big Thunder.
So,
So
now you
Adam-
can make your T-shirts, sir.
Adam,
Yes,
how did
Dave.
the 6 people that did the bracket? What was their consensus?
So the
You gotta read the
consensus
entire bracket.
out of half of it. Okay,
No.
so here we go. A 3-hour presentation. So the
Sometime
consensus
later.
on 3 of them was Toy Story Mania, pretty clearly. The rest of them had a mix. It was a mix of Big Thunder Mountain was one, Space Mountain was another. So half of them really centered around one ride. The rest of them were a mix. But when you score it like you would normally score a pick'em, which I've been doing along the way, my friend down here, Matt, actually wins with a total of 60 out of 80 points, which is double the second place person.
Who
So-
was second?
Blair and Chris were tied with 30 points apiece. So Matt knocked it out of the park. So
All
he's
right.
our winner. Matt Overberger from Orlando, Florida. You win
Go on
20% off of a
Spreadshirts and
t-shirt.
buy your shirt right now. Well, not now. When you hear this.
Hey Ben, I know I'm throwing you a loop here, but we haven't been going longer than we normally do. Are there any games that we need to pick? Because they're not going to hear from us until next week.
How about the A-Day game?
I think, yeah, Red's going to win.
Yeah,
Crimson's going to win.
yeah. Actually, I would love to hear A-Day, Crimson, or White.
Have they announced if it's going to be 1s versus 2s yet?
No,
I don't think
I think it'll be a mix, won't it? It's always a mix,
Well,
except when
it is,
when Mike
but-
Price runs A-Day.
Well, it's rolling, baby. I'm going to say that the Whites win.
I'll pick Crimson.
Yeah, I'll pick Crimson too. And iamGEEK, guys, do you want to spin Darth Anakin to see what your pick is?
While you're spinning, I'm surprised Dave didn't pick Soren to win A-Day.
So which one was that?
Anakin wins. I don't know which one that is.
Guys, I do want to appreciate. I really thank you guys for joining us and letting us come on y'all's show. This was a fun kind of break from the monotony of what sports can be. It was.
I'm sorry.
Said out loud.
For those listeners, I'm not a sports person. I don't have anything against it, but
I appreciate you guys for letting us let our geek flag fly, because we're not just sports fans. We are big Disney fans. We're big geek guys too here. Do y'all want to talk about Flash at all while you're on our show? Because I know y'all love Flash so much.
Well, it's a love-hate relationship with Flash.
yeah,
It's
this season's been more hate.
yeah. Somebody did ask us to talk about on ours this coming week because they really wanted to know what we thought of the Kevin Smith episode. So we'll probably talk about that.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
We're probably going to talk about Ready Player One this week on iamGEEK. Our thoughts on that movie. 2 of us have seen it. I don't think Trajan has. He doesn't go to the movies.
Nature doesn't watch any movie.
He doesn't. He can't leave the house. It's like
Nope.
house arrest stuff. Got an anklet on. We will be talking about Comic Palooza this week. If you're in the Houston area, come see us live.
Live.
Do our show.
We'll
with
give you a
Rufio.
sticker.
We should also point out at this point that Golden State is up 11 with about 10 minutes left, and the podcast is going to end before the end of the game. So who's going to win? Find out next time on iamGEEK.
Yeah.
All of
Tune
all
in.
of
I'll
your,
tell you who.
all of
the
your
game.
old Golden State scores.
Dodgers are winning 10-2.
Who cares about the Dodgers? But anyway, so I do want to say this. Get used to hearing Dave and Adam's voice, because the next time you hear us, we will have possibly done that half marathon. If you want to know updates for how I have almost died, I'm going to have my updates go to my Facebook. I'm going to try to find a way to put those on the Sideline Warning fan page, so you can see how bad Adam and I are doing on this half marathon. I'm also going to post the half marathon course on our Instagram page. It's at SW The Show for Instagram. You can also follow us on Twitter at SW The Show. Follow myself as at DAdams419. Ben is at the Ben Foster. Adam is at Run Tide Run. You can also email the show at sidelinewarningpodcast@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook. We're on that Facebook fan group, Sideline Warning fan group. You can do all that. Please like and subscribe. Share us. Tell your friends about us. We love talking to you guys. Check out the iamGEEK guys. We really appreciate having them on this time. But as always, we'll see you on the next Sideline Warning. We love you guys, and roll Tide.
Go Vols.
I just wanted to tell you guys that Soren rules!